One, two, steps.
Why are the banks closed tomorrow?
Juneteenth. New holiday they did a few years ago.
Okie dokie then.
I know, right? Pull my fucking truck. Pull my truck around. Please. Pull my truck around. And give me my keys to my truck. I don't want this done. Please go get my truck. Thank you. Is it this one right here?
Yeah, no, it's a Berkeley problem. What's that?
We can allow you. Hey, Matt, we said Juneteenth was the holiday tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not. Like,
We got mad about it.
here, he was like,
Yeah, that's why the banks were closed for the Juneteenth.
Thank you.
I don't even know what is Juneteenth.
Exactly, nobody really knows, but I think it's something to do with reparations or something.
Yeah.
I just want to know, how long does it take just to type in or ask Google, what is Juneteenth? And then the fact they knew what it was. You kind of had an idea of what it was because the guy sitting there, he said, oh, it's something about reparations or something. So you knew what race that it possibly applied to, but you all sitting up in here laughing and giggling in front of this black woman's face like it's a joke. So here's what they posted under the video. They said, so today's wow moment. We have multiple customers in our waiting room while their vehicles are being serviced. And we were checking to see if we needed any extra change because the banks will be closed for the Juneteenth holiday tomorrow. A customer overheard us say the banks were closed and asked us why they were closed. Our manager responded with, it's Juneteenth, a federal holiday. They added a few years ago. The customer said, okie dokie. And our greeter said, I know, right? Just a general, generic response. But actually, it wasn't because I think we all heard her laughing when she said it. But anyway, they said no faster than she finished speaking did another customer stand up and say, give me my effing truck, pull my effing truck around, give me my keys. I don't want nothing done here. Caught everyone completely off guard. I followed the customer outside to ask her what happened since it was all so fast. She told me she was going live with this and that we were racist. He said, I said, ma'am, I was right there and nobody said or did anything out of the way towards you or anyone else inside. She told me that we all laughed at her and were chuckling and mocking the holiday and that I didn't know how that made her feel because she was black. She said, I'm still going live with this. I told her if that was the case, I was going to go ahead and post the CCV footage so we are not unfairly judged off one side of an event. I generally don't entertain these kinds of things, but when you bend over backwards for all of your customers, no matter who they are, it stings to be accused of hateful things. He said, I'm attaching the video so anyone stumbles across this post basically or video with Synergy Audio Care at the focus, you'll have seen the actual interaction for yourself. And why did he do that?
You know, people think that Black Americans are so sensationalized with slavery. Oh, it happened over 200 years ago. No, it's not that far ago. I'm 46, and my grandmother on my paternal side was the granddaughter of a slave. So it's not that far removed from us. And, just the mere humanity for people to have when they hear of people who were enslaved, their freedom, the freedom to just be able to just be was taken from them. That's like someone that's been sentenced for a crime, a heinous crime. There are mass murderers who've never received a type of treatment that slavery chattel and the treatment of Black American slaves, what their experience was. I saw a video not too long ago of these chimpanzees being released from this medical facility that had been using them for cruel experiments for over 28 years. And the faces that they had when they first came outside for the first time, they saw the sun. And I'm talking about chimpanzees, I'm talking about primates. They were hugging each other. They were so amazed. Now, think about human beings who were not able to just be. You had to get up when someone told you to get up. You had to go to bed when someone told you to go to bed. You had to eat what someone told you to eat. You couldn't learn. You couldn't read. You couldn't do anything. And it was passed on. Not only for you, but for your children and your children's children and your children. You couldn't leave legacy. All you could leave them was struggle, persecution, hard labor, no life, no clothes, sometimes no shoes, barely enough food to eat. And the accounts that were recorded when President Roosevelt Franklin was in office, he made sure that there were the remaining of the slaves that were still alive. He made sure that the recordings were captured and placed into our national archives because he recognized the significance of having the testimonies of actual slaves that lived and breathed on this soil. And for you to be a white American in this country, and if you do not know what slavery is and what Juneteenth is, you cannot call yourself American. Because just like the Mayflower has something to do with the making of this country, the slave has even greater significance than the Mayflower. So if you don't know about the slave, don't come and tell me about your Mayflower. You cannot teach about a Mayflower. You can't teach about a settlement. You can't even teach about your colonies. You cannot teach about anything in regards to Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War I, World War II, any war that happened between the United States and any other country in this world. You cannot tell me anything about your economic system. You cannot tell me anything about your Harvard, your Yale, your Brown, your Princeton, until you know fully what slavery is, what it was, how it impacted this country in the beginning, and how it impacts it now, and the importance of Juneteenth and the day that we as Americans celebrate freedom finally recognized for every American. The first day that the Constitution can fully be able to quote its law that liberty and freedom is for all men. All men should be treated equally. You should have these inalienable rights. There's things that the Constitution could not say fully. It couldn't interpret fully until the day of freedom came. And it was finally recognized for the last few people of slavery in Texas, a year after the sentencing of slavery had ended in 1864. 1865, it finally reached the final post in Texas. And this group of black people were able to celebrate that they were no longer bound. They were no longer bound. So the significance of slavery, it is very it's a very sacred part of history in our country. And it's something that should not be handled with as if it's a novelty. And the conversations of those people in that business, I understand that black woman, she felt disrespected, not only for herself, but for the legacy of her ancestors and what they went through. We are their voices because they had no voice. And so when you say things like that in front of us, oh my gosh, that's like someone saying something anti-Semitic in front of one of the grandchildren of a Holocaust victim, where the only things that's left of them are their shoes. Their voices were taken from them. They were starved. They were frozen to death, some of them. They were gassed, stripped, raped, teeth pulled out of their heads. Do you see what I'm saying? So why? Where's your humanity at? That's the real question. When we have these types of conversations amongst ourselves that are not black people, whether you're white, Asian, whatever. That's the strange types of conversations. When you start going there, that's a strange place. And you need to question yourself, why am I allowing myself to entertain strange communications? And why don't I correct a person when I know this is not right? It's not right. It's perverted to celebrate and to make joy and make fun and make light of something that has been so heinous. I love to hear what you have to say. Please hit the love button, share, and I welcome your comments. Have a great one.